and go to the last question, which I would like everyone to answer if they can. So what is the best advice you've ever received from a mentor, or what advice would you have given your younger selves if you could? Dr. Moyne, would you like to start with this one?
That is a very good question, actually, the best question so far for me. So if I'm seeing my younger self, like 20 years younger or something, what advice I will give it to myself? Uh, so I think it's a little bit philosophical answer that I think for a person who's really passionate about his field, uh, so we kind of focus on our target. Like I have to achieve this target today, and then when I will achieve that target, basically I will be satisfied. I will be happy. Uh, and then I will set another target, another target, another target. So it's like target focused kind of life I'm spending. So I feel that I did not enjoy the journey that much. So I was just enjoying the achievement of the target, but not the journey, because the journey can be joyful also. So if I see myself, I will tell myself, yeah, enjoy the journey also, man. You are definitely working hard, but that hard work, basically, somehow you should enjoy that too, and be kind of happy, satisfied with during your journey also. I think that may be one of the things which I have missed, that I was so much focused on the target that I just completely ignored the journey, which basically I could have enjoyed.
Yeah, that's the idea of delayed gratification, right? And it comes up time and time again in medical careers, from undergrad as a treatment student, medical school, residency. You can't just say like, oh, when I am an attending, I'll do this, or when I reach this milestone. You still have to live your life and be happy and be satisfied. So if you're passionate for medicine, then you can still achieve all those targets or milestones, but not delay your gratification to that point. So I completely agree with Dr. Moon. That's very good advice for young people in medicine.
All right, Dr. Qureshi, what's the best advice you've been given?
Before I answer that question, I just want everybody to understand the difference between mentor and a coach. And I recommend to everybody, all of you guys should have somebody who can be your coach. Very different things. We don't have enough time to talk about it. Happy to talk to you about it later. Mentors are critical. Sometimes you can have one mentor or two mentors. I've had 15 mentors. They've all helped me tremendously, of different backgrounds. The piece of advice I would give myself is, don't worry, it's going to be fine. Whatever that is, you cannot control every input, and the output is unclear. So do the best that you can. Nurture your family and loved ones' relationships as much as possible. Work is work. It'll give you great pleasure. It'll give you a source of income. And it's a great field to be in. You get a lot of respect from a lot of people. Earn that respect. Don't take that respect for granted. And the way to earn that respect is look after your patients and help as many people along the way as you can. All of you are listening to this. This is a Saturday afternoon, and there's a lot of people on this panel who are giving up that time. When your turn comes, be ready to give up that time and pass it along. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, that's great advice, Dr. Jamshed. I think you're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah. Sorry. I would just say be curious throughout your high school, medical school, residency. I unfortunately did not have a mentor in med school. But in actually my work life, one of the things my mentor told me that, you know how they tell us in med school or school, always ask a question. He told me sometimes you need to just listen. And I think we need to focus on that. Sometimes you just want to sit in a meeting or sit in a group and listen to what everybody is saying, and learn to be that way. But I think if you're curious about things, you will go a long way, and you'll do really well.
All right. Dr. Harun?
So my piece of advice is try not to lose your sense of self-worth or happiness along the way. Going through medical school, residency, it's a really difficult journey. And there can be a lot of bumps along the way. Another piece of advice, you're more than your application or your scores. You know, one bad exam score is not going to derail you. So just try to keep that in mind. I know it can be hard at the time, but I promise you it'll be okay. And also lean on your classmates. They're going through the same exact thing you are. So if you're having trouble, just reach out to somebody and I'm sure they'll be able to, you know, help you through. And then my last piece of advice, find something that gives you joy outside of school and outside of medicine. Because getting away from, you know, that environment and taking a break can be so helpful.
All right, awesome. And for my med students that might or might not still be here, Umar, would you like to contribute?
Sure, yeah. The best advice I've received is surround yourself with people that you want to be like. And that's been great for me. I found lots of great friends and lots of great, you know, classmates especially, that have pushed me beyond what was comfortable for me in med school so far and also in undergrad. And, you know, when you try to, you know, match up, you naturally try to match up to your friends and try to do things after they kind of discover a new pathway for success. You want to try to, you know, get your own success too. It's a great sort of competition between your friends. It's very healthy. And that's the best advice I've gotten, is just surround yourself with people that push you to be the best person that you can be. And from that, you get your school success, you get your fulfillment in friends, you get all the things that you need in your own life. And that's worked well for me.
All right, great. Zara?
Yes. I would go into office hours and talk to my professors, and we would connect, and they would always tell me that, you know, this time is going to go by so fast, so enjoy it. This time is going to go by so fast, so enjoy it. And I realize that the time does go by very fast, and that you just need to enjoy every single step of the training of our medical education, whether that be in medical school and residency and fellowship. My professors always told me just enjoy the moment while you have it. We're like, we all are saying, you know, we're so focused on making sure that we get to the next stage of our training and we're successful. And then by the time that we achieve what we want to achieve, we look back and we feel like we haven't enjoyed the journey. So making sure that we're always making sure we're happy and prioritizing our mental health and being comfortable in who we are, and also being that, also knowing that when we are happy and mentally sound ourselves, we can be better physicians, we can be better mentors, coaches to everyone else.
All right, great. Iraj, anything to add?
Kind of just want to reiterate what Dr. Moyne and Zara just said. You know, I feel like all throughout undergrad and even my master's program, I was always like, okay, like when I finish undergrad or when I finish my master's program, and then this first semester of med school was like, oh, you know, when I finish this first semester, it was always just pushing things back. And I think this semester, at least, my roommates and I, we decided to sort of find work-life balance and to really like think of the little things, whether that's like talking on the phone with my parents or like going out with my roommates, just doing the little things that make you happy and kind of like remind yourself like why you're putting yourself through this. So that's basically it.
All right, and Zara?
One thing I would tell myself, like to this day, is not to get too overwhelmed and not to compare myself to everyone, because, you know, as a pre-med, you're always just like, oh, this person has more research than me, this person has more clinical experiences than me. And like in med school, you're like, oh, perhaps like, you know, this person got a better test grade than me. And then, you know, it gets really overwhelming. and sometimes that's not really productive. And I understand you can't like completely eliminate stress from your life, especially in like a field like medicine, but completely neglecting your mental health might not do you any favors. It's important to cultivate yourself and focus on yourself. That's still something I have to deal with today, because sometimes I forget. Like I'm just like, okay, like step back. Am I doing well? Like, am I a little too stressed? Like, what can I do to eliminate the stress? So I guess checking in with yourself and like just making sure that like you're not putting too much pressure on yourself is very important.
All right, yeah, that's really great advice. Mental health is definitely something that we ignore, and it shouldn't be because it's just as important as physical health.